Hi, this is Heather Pickin, and welcome to the Fearless Female Leaders series. I'm really excited. This is all about empowering women stepping up to make 1,000 to 1 million online in any crisis by shifting their mindset. As an expert in human behavior and studying neuroscience for many years, I realized the biggest thing that gets women in their own way from making money is themselves. You'll learn from these leaders, these experts, some mindset strategies and tools and strategies that you need to be successful right now. I'm also giving away some digital copies of my book. So here's how you can enter. This is my latest book, The Dolce Vita Formula, A Woman's Guide to Living a Fearless and Fabulous Life. So here's how you do it. You're watching this on YouTube. All you need to do is subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Put the thumbs up on this video and actually multiple videos throughout this series, and comment below. So there's 3 steps on what you need to do. The comment, you could just say fearless leader. That way I know you want to be entered in the drawing. So make sure you comment on every single video that you're seeing. And I hope you enjoy this series. And last thing, every single expert is giving you a free gift. It's so generous. But you got to make sure you go to fearlessandfabulousvision.com if you didn't already register, because all of the free gifts will be there for you to use and implement and grow your online business. So stay tuned. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another series talking about fearless leaders and how to transform your business online and, of course, your life. I love sharing inspiring stories because as women, this is how we grow. As women, this is how we connect, and we are changing the world with our work. I truly believe it. And my next guest, Marie-Claire Cates, is a shining example how someone can, learn from pain and triumph and create an amazing business. So we're going to dive into that story. I can't wait to talk about that. But she, her story is basically from shame to triumph, and how she was a teen mom. And now she has generated over $80,000 a month in her beauty business. So I'm really excited about that. She's the founder of the Acne Expert Skincare, and she's an entrepreneur with an inspiring journey as she immigrated from Haiti. We're going to learn a little bit more about her story. And now she is the CEO of a $1 million beauty business in Beverly Hills. And she started out, actually her first studio was in 2010, and then she relocated to Beverly Hills in 2013. And she is kind of a rock star, the go-to expert on social media. So Marie-Claire, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you.
My pleasure. So let's talk about let's talk about your story. Take us back to where you were a teenage mother. So what
Yeah,
was how did that happen? Well, we know how that happened, but
right.
what was going on during that time?
Yes. So I grew up in Haiti, and when I was 16, I became pregnant. And just to give you a little bit of a background, so Haiti, third world country, I was going to an all-girl Catholic school ran by nuns. We didn't have any sex education classes, and I was very sheltered. So became pregnant, and I was scared to death. I didn't even want to tell my mom because I knew she was going to kill me. And when she found out, I was already 5 months pregnant. And of course, she was devastated. And needless to say, that changed our relationship till now. So it affected our relationship. And then the guilt and the shame, the being told, you're not good enough, you'll never be anything. And what are we going to do now? You've tarnished the name of the family. So my family, they sent me here to literally have the baby, live it with a family member, and come back to Haiti as if nothing ever happened. And this is not what the future had for me. And so I ended up staying here and gave birth to a son. His name is Dominic, who's now 31. And Dominic is ended up having autism and epilepsy. So that was another list added to the bucket challenge. But yeah, that is the beginning of my journey here in America.
Wow,
Yes.
that it's so crazy because when you think about it, and I've worked with a lot of women entrepreneurs that have broken, the fear barrier, launching their
Mhm.
business, and I will tell you the number one thing that gets in their own way is themselves, and a lot of times it comes from those root issues, the seeking of approval from
Yes.
either a mother or father, sometimes both. So, so you had your child, you came to America, what really prompted you to say, you know what, I want a better life. I want to start something, I want to grow a business. I mean, did you
Yeah.
always have this vision of being successful and making outrageous money?
Well, no. But when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a stewardess because when you were growing up in the 70s, the stewardess, they look so pretty and elegant. And, so I wanted to do that. But I always had this vision that everything was just beautiful, that life was going to be beautiful. I was attracted to all things beauty. But I thought I was going to go to La Sorbonne in France. That's where my dad wanted to send me to study literature. That was the plan. And life turns out to be completely different. Thank God, because it's amazing now. But no, so when I came here, I think because I had so much guilt and shame. I had to prove myself, right? So I used that to my advantage because I had to prove my worthiness. But we're born worthy. But I learned that later on, right? Doing the work. But I had to prove to my mother that I was good enough, that I could make it, that I was going to put myself to college. And that literally, I think I used that to my advantage to just propel me forward. So now when I say the amount of sales I make, I'm blown away. But no, I that was not the plan at all.
I love that. And it's
Yeah.
interesting what you were saying earlier is that you use the shame and guilt, like you kind of use that as rocket fuel. Whereas I
Yes.
find a lot of women, that's why I want women to listen to this right now, is that if you feel like you have shame and guilt, don't live in your story, transform it and
Yes.
look at, someone like, yourself to say, wait a minute, if she can do it, so can I. So I just think that's so important. So, how did you come up with this idea to create your beauty business?
Yes. So my background was in human resources. So I was in corporate America for 20 years. The last 14 of it was in human resources. And I was extremely unhappy. Although I was an amazing human resources manager, but people would say, you don't belong in HR because I smiled often and, I was always joyful. So um, my gut, my instinct, I was always attracted to beauty. And I thought, what is it that I want to do? Plus, my son was sick all the time, taking time off to take him to the doctor. I thought, I need freedom. What is it that I'm going to create that's going to offer me freedom? And I thought I should open a business, but what is that going to be? And what am I good at? I'm good at beauty. So I thought it was beauty. So I thought I was going to become a makeup artist. So I worked for MAC Cosmetics, and that was not that because although I had passion for makeup, but it was not making me the money that I needed to pay my bills. So, and then eventually I became an esthetician because I used to break out all the time. And I would read labels. I was always at Sephora, and I was there with my cousin and another girlfriend, and they said, well, my mom had told me that before, but they said, you should be an esthetician. And the light bulb went off. When you hear something all the time, but you hear it from someone else and you're completely receptive. So, and I said, oh, that's what I should do. And 2 weeks later, I was in skincare school. I did that. I graduated and I knew that my passion was going to be acne because I suffered from acne. And then I had listened to an entrepreneur and she said, get good at one thing, get really good at the one thing. So I decided to niche, and acne was my niche. And then from there, I was selling, when I would see client at the studio, I would sell them other brands in skincare. And I knew so much about ingredients and how they affect the skin and all of that. And I thought one day, oh, I'm selling them the wrong products. I should create my own. And I was scared to death because I was like, where do you even start in the money it would take to create a line and all that? But I just, every day I did something, phone calls, Google. Google search was my best friend. And I ended up finding a manufacturer, and we were so in alignment. It's like the universe was like, yes, 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 do it. And that's how I came up with the line. And I launched it in the end of 2013 without a website, by the way, but I did it.
Wow. I just kind of
Yeah.
want to reiterate kind of how your business evolved, like the evolution of your business about just
Yes.
kind of having those cosmic breadcrumbs, following the cosmic breadcrumbs of going, okay, I want to do
Yes.
something different. Makeup wasn't really my thing. And then solving a problem with
Mm-hmm.
acne,
Yes.
and realizing, wait a minute, I should be doing this. And you had mentioned, you kept doing something every day. So I want women to listen is that, you got to take action on your highest priorities that are in alignment with your vision. And so now let's talk about the money. And I find it really interesting that you didn't have a website, because I work with a lot of clients that make money without a website. It's like, no, you just have to get clear on your idea. You also said that you niched it down. I really want
Mm-hmm.
people to get that, the one thing. What is your genius zone? What are you here to do? What are you here to help people? What's the problem that you're solving? But yeah, really niche it down. And so as you're growing, because I find, as you're growing your business, as you're getting bigger, you run into more problems. So what were some of the growing pains for you?
In the beginning of building the business, like I did not know my worth. So I didn't charge enough because I think I had a lack mindset that if I charged this price, they would not come. So I had to transform that story, that I am worthy. And then for the value that I am offering, that I'm giving to these customers, that, you know, it was totally worth it, that I was worth it. So that was number one. And then number two, well, that's all, it has all to do with mindset. So the mindset of every challenge is an opportunity. So I don't look at problems per se, I call them stepping stones. So whenever something would present itself, I would say, what is this here to teach me? And I would look at that. I journal a lot. I do a
I
lot of
love that.
journaling. Yeah. So I would always look for the good. So whenever I changed the way I perceive something, it's just light bulbs, right? The minute you change your perception, then life changes, solution shows up, the people, the cooperative component, they all show up. So those are the things that I really, really did. And they anchor me, and I practice them daily.
Oh my gosh, so many juicy nuggets of information. You're speaking my language about perception, and something that women can really relate to about not owning their value. A lot of times when women want to grow their business, or they're just starting out, that value issue is so critical. And you were just kind of working on that. So do you find, like, when you're thinking about working on your value, did you see how it was correlated back to how you were raised?
Oh, absolutely. Because, when I watch my parents, like, it's like there was always a budget, or no, you can't afford that. Oh my God, who's going to pay for this? Right. So it's like you just carry these stories with you unknowingly. And then when you go back, then you hear the stories that what is the word here? That you're carrying in your subconscious. And then, so I call them blind spots. So I had to work backwards and go find where I had picked up those beliefs. And
Mm,
they're definitely in my childhood, definitely on
yes.
my mom's side. My mom was always, there's a budget, and money doesn't grow on trees, and rich people are the devil, and spirituality, helping the poor, that, being poor is noble rather than, having abundance, all of that. So, yes.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so powerful. I just want women that are watching this right now, no matter where you're at on your journey of building, your business, your brand, your empire, that the mindset is honestly the biggest foundational piece that you absolutely must master if you want to move forward. So I'm curious, have you hired mentors along the way? Like, who
Mhm.
are some people that you've kind of looked up to or reached out for help?
Yes. So I've read tons of books. My first book was The Power of Attention by Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Mm,
And that started me on this journey of when you change the way you look at things. That's going back to perception, right? The things you look at change. And he was right, because when you change the way you see the world, it really transforms you. It really does. And then from there, when I opened the business, I hired a mentor that I found on Facebook. Her name is Gina DeVee, and she really helped me look at mindset. So I work with her monthly. So I definitely advise it. I highly recommend working with someone, a coach. You always need help because coaches have coached. I mean, leaders have coached. So we all need someone to help us navigate, through all these barriers. So I did that. I'm still with her today. And yeah, and I read tons and tons of books, and I have a daily practice that I do as well. So it's just been a steady flow, So one day, every day I wake up and I do something, and then today I'm here, right? So yes.
I love it. A lot of times women, they kind of they've got this vision they want to create, and they get really overwhelmed instead of kind of breaking it down into
Mhm.
daily steps like you were talking about in the beginning. So let's just say someone wants to get a product out there, maybe a program, but since you're in the product business, let's talk about products. What
Mhm.
would today, because you start where you started your business before and where social media is today, it is light years, light years
Yes.
apart. So what do you find the best marketing strategies and platforms that you recommend for women getting their products out there?
Yes. So when I had started, Instagram wasn't even around. So today, Instagram, I can't say it enough. I use Instagram daily. And the minute you think that you want to offer a product or a service, you've got to start telling people. You have to radiate that in your life, in your presence on social media. So because they said when you build it, they will come. So it's like, oh, I want to offer uh, hair dryers or whatever it may be. So it's like, where are you going to find the audience, right? So you have to have a presence on social media and connecting with them. And that has grown my business tremendously. Instagram. So if you find a social media platform that works for you, for me, it's Instagram. For some people, it might be Facebook. But I would say get out there and don't be afraid, because people buy people and not product. You so I find that's when I started to show up and people started to see me, and I said, my name is Marie Claire, I'm the founder of CEO. Many of my clients didn't even know that I was Black. They're like, oh, you're African. I didn't even know, because I was hiding for a long time. And the minute I started to put myself out there and being visible, that is a big key. My business changed. And also, building an email list is so important. It doesn't matter if you have the product or you don't know what you're going to offer, but start growing your list by way of an
Yes.
email. Oh my God, because I didn't do that for 4 years. And like,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So
And a
now,
lot of women, they don't realize they're missing out on hundreds and thousands, even millions of dollars by not having an email list. And now the barrier to entry and having an online business is really next to nothing. You can get an email list for nothing up to like 500 or 1,000 people, just to
yes,
get started.
yes, that was the biggest mistake I made. One of them. I didn't have a list. I was like, who needs a list? Yes, you do need a list, because you don't own Instagram. If Instagram were to go away, you
Yes.
will still have your clients.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about, like, a lot of, let's just say for products, I would imagine, Instagram definitely being a great
Yes.
platform. It just depends on, where your ideal clients are hanging out. Sometimes it might be over on LinkedIn, but what is your consistency as far as posting on there every day, a couple times a
Hmm.
day? How do
Hmm.
you have a person that manages that?
Yes, I'm very, very high touch with my Instagram. So I handle our Instagram account and I post daily. I always post a review, information about products. Now that everyone is home, I go live every day and offer value, answer questions. So I post daily in the stories. I always do. It might not be a page post on the actual page, but I always do a story because people are really interested into like your life, like what did you do today, what are you using, what serum did you use, what information you can offer. So I do tons of demos, tons of live. I connect with them. I get to know people, their stories. I make it about them, and and I provide value doing that.
I love that. I think a
Mhm.
lot of times too, women feel vulnerable putting themselves online, but that's the
Mhm.
world that we live in. So, what would you say to women out there? They're like, I've got an amazing idea for a product or program, but yeah, I lack the confidence to put myself out there.
Yes, perfection will kill your dream. Because I went through it, and especially being in skincare, I used to say, "Oh my God, I have an accent. I don't speak English well enough." Who cares? No one cares. I realized they actually love my accent. And it's just once you press play and you get over that first 10 seconds, I'm telling you, it's another world on the other side. So it's just forcing yourself to do it, because when you go to sleep at night, you're going to regret it. So what I did, my first live, I was scared to death. I was like, what if people are mean? The what if, the mind chatters, I call it, that is going to kill your dream. And when you're in alignment, you're supposed to do it. No one is going to kill you for being on Instagram. What's the worst that could happen? For me, it's like I miss words sometimes. I have an accent. Who cares? I've gotten over myself. I show up on there with my mask on. The more you do it, the more comfortable you will become. So you've got to be visible. Like, I can't say it enough. It's changed my business drastically. So if you do it every day, you're going for 2 minutes. And then you know what you can do too is go with someone. If you feel like I don't want all the attention on me, invite someone who has a business that is complementary to your own, and then go live on there with them or post a picture. But start somewhere. Start somewhere.
I love that. Yeah, you got to go
Mhm.
all in. You got to take action,
Yeah.
and it's just if you don't, then to me, I feel like you're doing a disservice to other people that you could be helping with your product or um, service. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, we're just about gosh, time has flown by so quickly. I could be talking to you forever. I just so enjoyed this conversation. The
Yes.
last thing actually I wanna ask you really quickly, and this goes back to mindset, because I really believe and know that mindset is the biggest piece of this puzzle. You can have a great
Yes.
product, you can have a great program, but if you don't have the mindset, your business isn't going to go anywhere. So how do you personally deal with failure? A lot of times women are so scared, to take the plunge or do something different. And I know it's how we've been raised, how
Hmm.
most girls growing up, they've been raised to run away from
Hmm.
failure, whereas you like pray, like whereas little boys, they're eating it for breakfast. So what are some of the things that what you've done to kind of retrain your brain and how you're looking at failure?
So when I look back, I had worked with a therapist that said, when I look back at all that I've considered failures, they've only brought me here. And so I've changed my perception on how I see failure. So the word failure, like we all have this big, it looks scary to us. It sounds scary, but I embrace it because I call them challenges and stepping stones, you right? So when I look back at, oh my God, getting pregnant at 16, coming to a new country and didn't know anything. I've slept in my car for 3 days. I've been on all of that, but I wouldn't be here today. So if you look back and you realize where you've been, you have not died, no one killed you, you're still here. So it's just a matter of retraining your brain as on how you see the word failure. And also, I'm not sure, having a relationship with a higher power, whatever you may call it, I find that helps me. Having a spiritual practice really has really anchored, my faith and my mindset as well. So I love to say everything is working out for me. So whenever I see failure, I said, I am thrilled this is happening because so this is a practice that I do. So whenever I perceive that failure is happening, I say, I am thrilled this is happening. And then I look the benefits, you know,
Yes.
and that helps me so, so much, so much.
I love it. And I think more women have to look at failure. They have to shift their perception and going, wow, this is an opportunity right now. It is, you feel like there's the pause button, but are you shifting your perception to look at so many opportunities out there? So I really appreciate that
Yes.
perspective. Marie Claire, before we go, I know you have a special gift, and everyone that's watching this, make sure you click on the link with the expert. There's a link wherever you're watching this video, so you can click on the link and you can grab the gift. So tell us a little bit about that.
The gift is all about skincare and diet. So we just give you tips on what to eliminate to have better skin and some practices you can incorporate in your daily life to have better skin.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marie Claire, for being my guest. And everyone that's tuned in, make sure that you grab that gift. And until next time, this is Heather Pickin, and live fearlessly. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Make sure if you want to be in the drawing to win one of my, or actually a copy of my latest book in digital form, do three things: subscribe to this channel, thumbs up, and comment below, fearless leader. I hope you enjoyed this interview, and I'll talk to you soon.